Okay, we'll look at part 6 of Federalist number 8. These are not vague inferences drawn from supposed or speculative defects in a constitution, the whole power of which is lodged in the hands of the people, or their representatives and delegates. But they are solid conclusions drawn from the natural and necessary progress of human affairs. See, he is basing everything on experience. He says, I'm not just pulling this out of the air, out of the thin air, as the English-speaking world would say. I'm not imagining these things. These are things that have happened in the progress of human history. In the progress of history, these are things that have happened and we're learning from them. If a big, powerful country is sitting next to you and you're weak and do not have good leadership, there's vacuum of power, there's something, the problem, the chances are they will invade to take advantage of the situation, to take your resources, to plunder. He says it's in human nature. It doesn't have anything to do with your religion, it doesn't have anything to do with your color of your skin, it doesn't have anything, it's just in the organized societies back then, that's what people would do. Even today, there's a good chance that people will do that. Now we'll come back to that. Let me continue. It may perhaps be asked by way of objection to this, why did not standing armies spring up out of the contentions which so often distracted the ancient republics of Greece? So he says, well, republics of Greece did not have standing armies. One of the historians says that it's because Greek republics, they were city-states, small, so all the population would in the time of need serve. They say even Socrates served at one time as a military person. So he says don't even bring that up because those are small city-states. We're talking about a big union. The industrious habits of the people of the present day, absorbed in the pursuits of gain and devoted to the improvements of agriculture and commerce, are incompatible with the condition of a nation of soldiers, which was the true condition of the people of those republics. Those republics were small. They did not have too many industries. It was a handful of things that people busied themselves with, a handful of occupations, a handful of jobs. But he says now there are so many people doing so many different things, you cannot expect them all to come and be in the military the way those guys used to be. The means of revenue, which have been so greatly multiplied by the increase of gold and silver, and of the arts of industry and the science of finance, which is the offspring of modern times, concurring with the habits of nations, have produced an entire revolution in the system of war, and have rendered disciplined armies, distinct from the body of the citizens, the inseparable companion of frequent hostilities. Now, when he says the system of finance, that was his specialty. That was his specialty, because later on, we will see that he becomes the Secretary of Treasury, the first Secretary of Treasury of the United States, and that's when him and Jefferson and Madison part ways. They start distrusting each other. Jefferson and Madison are on one side, Hamilton is on the other side. So Hamilton is saying our way of life has changed. The way we finance everything has changed. So you can't expect it like to be the old times. And he'll say, you will notice that. You will have to let people get into different industries so that the whole society would prosper and people use their talents to the best, for the best available thing that they'll be good at. So I better put my glasses on to read. There is a wide difference also between military establishments in a country seldom exposed by its situation to internal invasions and in one which is often subject to them and always apprehensive of them. Some countries where they're situated because of their geography, there's always somebody that wants to invade them, conquer them. There are some countries which are not. For example, again, in the back of his mind, he's got Britain in his mind. He says, if you're an island nation, the only way they can invade you is by sea. So you have this blessing in a way that they can't invade you from every side by land. But if you're not, if you're France, there's a good chance that somebody will invade you from the other side, from the north, from the east. So, and also from the west. So it says your situation varies. So it says keep that in mind. The rulers of the former can have no good pretext if they are even so inclined to keep on foot armies so numerous as must of necessity be maintained in the latter. If you're an island nation like Britain, you're not going to have too many excuses to tell people, I need a big army, because people will say, no, you don't need a big army. But if you're a country that can be invaded from every side, you'll need an army. So he says, keep that in mind as we go along. The armies being, in the first case, rarely, if at all, called into activity for interior defense, the people are in no danger of being broken to military subordination. The laws are not accustomed to relaxations in favor of military exigencies. The civil state remains in full vigor, neither corrupted nor confounded with the principle or propensities of other states. The smallness of army renders the natural strength of community an overmatch for it, and the citizens not habituated to look up to the military power for protection or to submit to its oppressions neither love nor fear soldiery. They view them with a spirit of jealous acquiescence in a necessary evil and stand ready to resist a power which they suppose may be exerted to the prejudice of their rights. This is beautiful. This is very important. He says when you don't have a big military on land inside the country, people are not going to put up with you, the ruler, the leader, treating them like a second-class citizen because you have a big army that you might use to crush them. They don't grow up that way. They respect the military, but they say, watch out, military. We respect you, but remember, we're the bosses. We, the civilians, are the bosses. So it says in a country where the army is getting big, standing army, it's the other way around. You always bow to the military, you put them on a pedestal, and you behave like a servant, not a free person. So he says, be careful. It's one of my, sadly, one of the things that Americans have to worry is that when these leaders get up there right now and they continuously scare people that war might come, terrorists might come, we have to enlarge the Homeland Security, we have to enlarge this and that. Gradually people, excuse me, will get too comfortable, will get too comfortable accepting the military rule or a trend towards military rule, and that saddens me. I hope it doesn't become that. I hope people realize this is a great republic, a constitutional republic. It's a federal union, and we civilians are in charge. We respect the military because we are the people who will make up the military when the time comes, and not fall for this scaremongering tactics that tyrants and demagogues usually use. Notice Mr. Trump, he used scare tactics to unite his supporters to win the office. We should not be crazy enough, when you were reading this, to call Trump supporters bad people. There's a group of them that are racist, bigoted, no doubt about it. But a lot of them are not. A lot of them, they love their country and they're afraid about certain things. They notice that the government doesn't do any good for them. So let's not get things confused, okay? As we go along, we'll study it more and we learn a little bit more, and hopefully we'll have more time to discuss these things. Thank you.